Question number 5, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Building and Construction and asks, does he believe that the contracting system currently used in the construction industry works appropriately and fairly in circumstances of insolvency? If so, why?
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Mr. Speaker, yes, because the government engaged in significant consultation 2 years ago with the construction sector, including subcontractors, and concluded a regime for security of payments would add extra costs up front to the building work and the cost of doing business, and concluded that parties to a contract are currently free to negotiate the use of security payment measures using products that are already in the market. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, the government is still not ruling anything in or out. We are considering any changes being proposed, but they must be based on good evidence.
Supplementary question, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Given that answer, what specific changes, if any, is the government proposing to the contracting system in the construction industry to ensure subcontractors are paid for the money they are owed for work they have done?
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think a little bit of history would be worthwhile here. There was a Liens Act in place. The Labor government in '87 got rid of that. Sir, then in 2001, when the fourth biggest construction company in New Zealand, a company called Hartner Construction, went into receivership and subbies didn't get paid, the Labor government said they did not believe there were measures the government needed to take to ensure security. Remember, fourth biggest construction company, as was Mainzeal, a very good mirror to that, sir. And so what I'm saying to that member, because I've heard Labor even referring to New South Wales at present, there's only a proposal in New South Wales at present, and the New South Wales government have not yet decided whether they'll proceed on it. So we won't rule anything in, we won't rule anything out, but it has to be based on good evidence before the government would change things.
Point of order, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Well, the '87 decision was wrong. I agree.
What's the point of order?
The point of order is this. I asked a specific specific question around changes. He said there were proposed changes. I asked what changes were being considered. We did get a detailed history lesson, but we didn't get any specificity to the answer. I asked what were the proposed changes.
Because at this stage, the Minister on two occasions
that's for him to say, isn't it?
Sorry?
Isn't that for the Minister to clarify?
No, you've raised with me a point of order about whether the question has been satisfactorily answered. And the question was, what specific changes is the government considering? And the Minister categorically said we're not ruling anything in and we're not ruling anything out at this stage. I think he's adequately answered your question. Supplementary question, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Does the Minister agree with Phil McConchie, co-owner of scaffolding and propping business Camel Place, which had $1 million of gear on the Twin Tower Hobson Garden site, and who estimates losses of $300,000, when he said on the 13th of February, when he predicted on the 13th of February, and I quote, a big group of subcontractors could fail in the next month, causing widespread damage to the building sector. And if he does agree that that is a distinct possibility given the Mainzeal collapse, doesn't he think he ought to be proactively pursuing options to future-proof contracting arrangements for subbies, ensuring that they do get paid for money they have earned?
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Speaker, no, I don't accept some of those claims by the member that was quoted. What I can tell that member is that in 2009, the Honourable Leanne Dalzell and Brendan Burns came to me as Minister and said they were concerned about this issue. And so, sir, I put out a very extensive, here it is, consultation document which was circulated throughout the entire industry, which was submissions from the Construction Industry Council, from subcontractors, federations and so on, and the total and unanimous conclusion of all that work was that there are methods in the system right now where you can get the protection if you wish it, and that going to a mandatory system would not work. So I say to the honourable member, I'll show you mine, you show me yours.
Supplementary question, Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Hold on, help us on the way.
Supplementary question.
To the Minister. Given his expertise in the subcontracting, given his personal expertise in the subcontracting industry, in that he is currently a director of subcontracting firm Holyoake Industries Limited, has he sought any advice from his former boss and former Prime Minister Dame Jenny Shipley, a former director of Mainzeal, on the reasons behind the Mainzeal collapse and their impacts on the subcontracting industry? If not, why not? And the nasty thing is some contractors are out on their ear. Dr. Smith.
Honourable Maurice Williamson.
First, can I clarify that Holyoake Industries are neither a contractor nor a subcontractor in the building and construction sector? Yes, I would know. And secondly, no, sir, I have had no discussions on this matter with the Honourable Jenny Shipley.
Point of order or supplementary question?
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question. The right honourable.
They ask the Minister, why is someone who so blindly supported the removal of sound building materials, practices and regulations leading to tens of thousands of leaky homes and buildings the Minister for Building and Construction today?
Well, I presume you mean me, because I'm the Minister of Building and Construction today, and I'd like to know what changes to building materials regulations it was I supported. I assume the member's talking about the decision by Standards New Zealand, an independent body, in 1995 to allow non-treated timber in the building of housing. And I say to that member, did he expect somebody who wasn't involved in the portfolio to now tell an independent organisation like Standards New Zealand, you're not to do that? Because if that's what he's suggesting, I wouldn't have done it.
Question number 6, Nikki Wagner.
To the Minister for Canterbury Earthquake